It all happened back in 1963 when Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. took a step at the Lincoln Memorial. He took that step knowing that things would change, knowing that the life of colored people would never be the same after he gave the speech of the dream he dreamed, and what a dream it was, a dream that we would all be free. Free no matter the color of skin you are in, free no matter your religion, no matter your age, no matter boy or girl, man or woman, free even if your roots run deep into Africa or Asia, even if you're from the high ends of the suburbs or the low ends of the ghettos. Dr. King wanted us to be free. And so he took those steps, being tired of seeing his people weep because they did not treat us as if we were humans, as if we were not created by the same hands of the same God that they were created from. He took those steps for black people, white people, Asian Hispanics. He wanted everyone to have liberty. And so here we are standing free, but somehow still encaged. But only are we encaged by ourselves. We still live under the words of people long ago who told us we could not read or write. And some people of my generation stand to prove that they were right, not wanting an education, sitting in class, daydreaming about what they're going to do later, partying instead of studying, taking drugs, listening to music that has no meaning. How does all of this still stand when we are free by Dr. King's hands? 51 years later, and we are still in that same situation. How? 51 years later, and we are still enslaved, even though that they told us we could no longer be in chains. But now there are things we can do. We can eat at all restaurants because they allow us, and we can sit at the front of the bus, and we can drink out of every fountain that every white man's lips have touched. So why are we still fighting that same war we fought 50 plus years ago? The only difference now is we're against our own brothers and sisters. This cannot be. We must change things, for this is not the dream that Dr. King dreamed. Question is, can you take a step to mobilize our community? Can you take a step to mobilize for our families, for our communities, for our city, our country? Can we take a step to be all that Dr. King dreamed? But now there are things going on in 2015 that are not a reflection of Dr. King. About 2 years ago, in 2012, there was a young black boy by the name of Trayvon Martin. Martin was shot and killed. Not only was he victim of a homicide, but the shooter was known as George Zimmerman, a man of no color. It has been decided that Zimmerman did indeed shoot Martin because of the color of his skin and that he was wearing a hoodie, perceiving him to be dangerous. This evoked protests around the nation. Not only was it black people, but it was people of all nationalities. We protested peacefully in silence and mobilization. We protested without having violence and mobilization. But how is it that we can do things peacefully, but we choose not to? On August 9th of 2014, there was another homicide known as the Mike Brown shooting. Michael Brown was shot and killed by a white police officer, Darren Wilson. This evoked protesting around the nation once again, but this time, before the protesting, there was an anarchy in which there were several robberies around North St. Louis County, including the burning of a Quick Trip gas station. This is not what Dr. King did. He did not fight for this. He fought for liberty and justice. He fought without using an iron fist. So, why? But now, before the storm, after every storm comes a calm. There was a movement called Hands Up, Don't Shoot. And this was a big step for our community. But why is it that when Darren Wilson was not indicted, we turned to violence? When we have no peace, we turn to violence. We cannot keep turning to violence. No peace, no justice. That was big. But what else can we do to live Dr. King's dream? Step and mobilize.